Guys, can we please give a round of applause for Father of the Bride, Steve?
Test, 1, 2. Always wanted to do that. Hello. I want to thank everybody for coming. I know most everybody came a long way. In fact, everybody came a long way, even Hal, wherever Hal is. Okay. I'm Steve, Rachel's dad, and you're not. So, okay. Anyway, I have two people I want to really thank tonight. Father Conley, I don't know where he's hiding, but okay. Well, thanks, Father Conley, for coming all the way from Minnesota. And I want to thank Lori Lee, our harpist. She had to play last night until 6 o'clock at another wedding, and then drive all night just to get here this morning. So, a warm welcome. And she did a wonderful job. I loved it, Lori. Thank you. Okay. Well, I want to keep this short, but I have a couple of Rachael stories. Yes, you. Okay. So there's a couple of lists on my list here. Okay. All right. Okay, all seriousness aside. Okay. Rachael was a great kid growing up, and we have a lot of memories. And one of them wasn't so pleasant, but when she just learned to walk, let alone run, we came home from daycare, and she took off running, and she tripped and hit her mouth right on the fireplace, on the brick, and got a pretty bad cut. I was terrified. Anyway, when that healed, for many years, you'd catch her going like this. She'd be rubbing that lip because you know it was numb. She'd be rubbing her lip. And I'm pretty sure if you keep an eye on her, you'll still catch her going like this once in a while. Okay. Okay, where was I? I'll get it. Okay. And that's it. I hope he passed the audition. Okay. So anyway, I was telling Rachael a story. She was probably about 4 years old. And I was telling her, when I was growing up, my brothers and sisters we'd do little rhymes and have fun. And I was telling Rachael, I said, there was a rhyme that we used to do. We'd say, hey, Rachael. I said, this is what we used to say. I said, we'd say, you want a penny? Go upstairs and kiss Jack Benny. I said, if you want a nickel, go upstairs and get a pickle. And she looked at me and said, hey, Dad, you want a nickel? Go upstairs and kiss Jack. Joni's laughing because she really, Joni gets it. You had to be there. Okay. And then when she really wanted to do something that she already did before, there'd be a park. Dad, can we go to this park? And I looked at her and she says, well, I've never been there. I look, in a long time. That's how she always say, in a long time, like, oh, and then it's okay, we can go to the park. So we'd do that. And then there's another thing, when she was growing up, I always wanted to play hockey. And she wanted no part of hockey. So I said, okay. Well, then, it must have been about 4th, 5th grade. She said, Dad, I want to play softball for the school. I said, okay, well, let's go get you a bat and a glove and softball. And so we'd play in the backyard. And then came the first practice. Well, I knew this wasn't going to be her thing when the coach asked her, Rachael, what position do you want to play? And she said, batter. Oh. Sorry, you had it coming. Okay. But at a very young age, Rachel wanted to do dance. And she did that all through college and became a beautiful dancer. I was so proud of you. And she still is in the dance now, as her and her sister Nicole are the head coaches at Gustavus College. So one day, Rachel comes home and says, Dad, I met a guy online. I said, what? Online? Online? She said, yeah. And I said, well, whatever happened to meeting someone at the bar or through your family and friends or something? But I just, online? And, yeah, well, I'd like you to meet him. This guy's name is Josh, and he's a really good guy. I said, okay, so Terry and I met him and got to know him over the years, and I guess you can meet a really good guy online. Online. That's it. Okay. Okay. Well, that note, I want to welcome Josh into the family and the entire Garvelink family into ours. So, Josh isn't really known for much of a fisherman yet. But he's coming around. We're going to get him out there. But I was really, really glad to hear he took up pheasant hunting with Uncle Luke. And you know, he's got a chance here. He's got a chance. Okay. Now we have a little marriage advice. Okay. Back in 1886, this lady named Jane Wells wrote a little marriage advice, and it still pertains to this day, and it will forever. And in fact, these words were spoken at Terry and I's wedding, and that's why I want to say it here. So anyway, 137 years ago, she wrote this, and this is for you. Let your love be stronger than your anger, and need to compromise, and true friendship is the basis for lasting relationship. There's a little more, but those are the ones that really stuck out in my mind, and I had to pass them on to you. Okay. So I'd like to end my speech with Mr. and Mrs. Josh Garvelink. Have a long and healthy marriage. Thank you.
Please stand up for the father of the groom, David.
Okay. Show them how it's done, my friend.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Garvelink, my wife, Gay, Josh's father and mother. We're so thrilled to welcome Rachel to our family. We're excited for the coming years and experiences that we'll have together. We're so thankful that God has brought you together, that you found each other. So Josh and Rachel started dating in August of 2020, online, as Steve said. Josh brought Rachel home to Grand Rapids to meet the family the first time. Thanksgiving weekend. So we met Rachel, and Rachel came with a whole carload full of board games, right? Rachel loves board games. Right? So one night that weekend, we went to Josh's sister, Kara, and Mike's house, and we had dinner to play board games. So we'd been playing board games for a while and talking. The first time Rachel left the room, Kara looks at Josh and says, "Josh, what are you waiting for?" Done and done. So here we are 3 years later, and we're celebrating their marriage. So thanks be to God for that. So again, we're so happy to have you part of our family, Rachel. Welcome. So one thing that we have as a family tradition that we'd like you all to join us with is singing of the doxology. The doxology is printed on the back side of your menu. If you would join us, it's very short, but just something that we've done as a family, and we're welcoming Rachel into our family with this. So, you want to start us, honey?
All right. I'll just start singing.
Yes.
Join me, I'm not a soloist.
Okay. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole, and I had the privilege of being Rachel's little sister for the past 24 years. As the little sister, I wanted to be just like Rachel growing up and copied everything she did. I just had to be included in whatever my sister was doing. I would sit outside her closed room door and listen to her and her friends laughing, wishing I could be them. And for the most part, Rachel did include me. Although, there was one time, while her parents were away, she was probably so fed up with me copying her, Rachel and her friend tied me to a tree to avoid having to play with me. Sorry, Rachel. As we got older, the 6-year age gap seemed to close, and she has been my best friend. You could still say that I am that copycat little sister, as we graduated from the same college with the same nursing degree and the same passion for dance. Although, I just believe I'm lucky to have a sister who shares all the same goals and life passions. When I think of Rachel, I think of graceful, dainty, and classy. And I brag about her to everyone. I mean, just look at her. She's beautiful human inside and out, and she makes the most stunning bride I've ever seen. I could go on all day about how much my sister means to me, and I'm sure she'd love that. But I'll keep it short and talk about a few things I love about my sister. Number one, she runs on her own time. I don't know how she manages it, but somehow every time she leaves the house, it's a stressful event for everyone, and we're always late. 2, she's a great procrastinator. And 3, she knows how to get shit done. Rachel, you've been my biggest role model in life, and I will never stop coming to you for advice. I would not be where I am today without you. On a good day, you can find Rachel and I laughing about inside jokes and reciting The Grinch. I'm happy that she found someone like Josh to continue on the laughter. Josh, your happiness is contagious. You know how to crack a smile and lighten the mood in any situation. For example, anytime Rachel and I are butting heads, Josh knows how to jump in with a witty comment that makes both of us stop and laugh long enough for us to forget about what the disagreement was even about. Josh, I knew you were the one for Rachel when you sat down and began to play Canon in D on the piano at our house. A song that both Rachel and I have tried to figure out how to play our whole lives. Both Rachel and Josh value the arts and spending quality time with family. For this, I'm truly grateful, as I can't go a day without calling my sister to tell her about any minor inconvenience I might have had that day. And we get to hear Josh play the piano beautifully at every family dinner. And even if it is to bother the shit out of me, the affection these two show each other, and the tone in their voices when they call each other babe, can only mean one thing, and that's true love. Growing up, I always wanted a brother, and I'm so excited to say that Rachel has found me the perfect brother-in-law. Welcome to the family, Josh. Cheers to wishing you guys a lifetime of happiness and a love that grows forever.
Mic check, mic check. I always want to do that too. Hi guys, I'm Jake McLean. I am Josh's best man and roommate for life, along with two other gorgeous, awesome roommates. So first of all, I want to thank Josh's and Rachel's family, guys. Thank you so much for putting on a wonderful event in a wonderful facility. We're all having a great time. All right, so I want to track back 14 years to when Josh and I first met in the summer of 2009. So the story of Josh and I is that we were all blind roommates, and Josh was by far the most particular about who his roommates might be. So I was the only one within the vicinity that he thought, hey, we can meet up. When we started Facebook chatting, because that's what you did in 2009, he was a little concerned about our other roommates. We have Ty, who we didn't actually know who he was because he had 3 different Facebooks that we weren't sure about, and Jason, whose only Facebook profile picture was him screaming with a background of fire, so Josh was very concerned. So he's like, I'll give Jake a chance. He's only an hour and a half north, and I happen to be having this summer bash party, which was a lot of fun. I'm like, yeah, Josh, come on up. It'd be great to meet you. We're going to have a good time. So I'm just, get off in Cadillac, exit 176, no problem. You'll see all these lights, and you'll just make a couple turns, and you'll be at my house. So an hour or 2 later, Josh calls. He's like, hey, Jake, I got off on the exit, but I don't see any lights. I'm like, man, there's not that many lights in Cadillac. You just got to look. And then he's like, okay, I'll try again. So we hang up, and I'm like, just look. It's no problem. 5 minutes later, he calls like, Jake, I'm really looking. I don't see any lights. I'm like, okay, well, just stay there. I'll come and get you. So we're at this big party with, probably 20 cars. So my car's packed in. So I just grabbed the first car that I saw. Didn't bother to wear any clothing other than my bathing suit. So I pull up, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I probably told Josh the wrong exit, which this happens a lot. I'm not a big planner and not very detail-oriented. So, which Josh is actually very in all those things. So I pull up in this big Suburban, because it was the first car I found, with no shirt and a puka shell necklace. And I saw Josh and his friend. I just threw the deuces. I was like, what's up? And his friend goes, oh, my gosh, he's a tool. So he was unsure. We came to the party. We actually had a great time. However, even after the party, Josh went roommate shopping, and he wasn't even sure if he was going to live with us, which I didn't know until later. And his parents begged me, like, just stay, Josh, just like a couple weeks, and maybe you'll like these guys. Who knows? Ended up being one of our favorite friendships. What's that?
Yeah, a spreadsheet.
Yeah, spreadsheet. Exactly. So, anyways. He didn't get a chance to interview the other roommates until the day of, but after we left the party, one of our close family friends talked to us, and she's my mom's age, one of my mom's friends. She's like, wow, I met your roommate. He's a great guy. He's awesome, and he's smart, and he's great looking. You lucked out. I was like, you're right, I did. I don't know. We went in blind, and we got this great guy. So the first couple weeks of college, when you're a blind roommate, you really have to get to know your roommate. So we had a lot of that going on. Ty and Josh are a little bit more reserved than Jason and I. So Jason and I are like, we're going to do this. And we lived in this dorm at Michigan State where they had these little tight corridors where you're supposed to put 2 beds, and then a little bigger corridor where your desk is supposed to go. I'm like, we're going to slam all the beds in one thing, have a 4-person loft, sleep head to foot. It's going to be awesome. And Ty's like, and Josh is like, oh my gosh, what? But we're like, we got to do it, just trust us. So we did this thing. We built this 4-person loft, and we slept head to foot, and it was wonderful. And the thing about it is, you learn a lot about each other when you have loft chats and you sleep head to foot and things like that. So I was a snorer. I'm really bad. I snore every night. They would throw balls at me to, wake me up and shift. Jason's annoying because you sleep head to foot, and he jams his feet in your face, and, the whole time. Ty always has the sniffles, but Josh might have been the worst in my opinion, because Josh is not a morning person at all. He might be a little better now, I'm not sure. But however, in college, not a morning person. And so he would have this alarm that would go off and go off. We'd be like, Josh, get up. And this wasn't just the first couple weeks. This was the entire time we lived in college together. So much so that he had to have an app to put math problems on. So he would figure out the math problems to turn off his alarm just so he could wake up enough. We did a lot of trash picking. We got a lot of free stuff. We snuck into a lot of dorm basements to pick things up. But our best trash, cheap object was our $80 couch called Cholula. We each spent $20 each. And fortunately, the Carmelings were very nice, and they were the closest, so they took this large couch that was a big old sectional, jammed it in their SUV, and dropped it off at their house every single summer while we were in college, until the springs were popping out of it. It wasn't a good couch when we bought it, to be honest, so. We had a lot of fun. Josh would stay up late. As you know, he's not a morning person. Him and Ty were boxing all the time, so I would be trying to be sort of responsible, go to bed at 10 or 11 or a reasonable time. Him and Ty were just boxing all over the room. We had so many fun times. But one of the things that stuck out is we made a lot of friends that eventually would make us baked goods eventually at certain parts of the year, like Jason's birthday. We figured out Josh had an extreme sweet tooth. So there was one night we were up playing video games, not very long, but Jason and I went to bed at a reasonable college time. Josh was like, I'm going to beat this level, no problem. I'm going to stay up. We each had a few brownies from this larger platter, and we go to bed. The next morning we wake up and we're getting our lunches ready for the day, and I'm like, oh man, where are the brownies? Maybe Josh packed them up and put them in the fridge. We can't find the brownies. Josh wakes up. We're like, Josh, where are the brownies? He's like, oh, well, I ate them. And I was like, okay, but where are the rest of the brownies? And he's like, no, I ate them. I was like, all 24 of the brownies? He's like, yeah, but I did beat that video game level. So anyways, that was the first time we found out about Josh's sweet tooth. The next time was Ty and Josh were in the calf, and Josh, along with the sweet tooth, would usually get desserts, usually ice cream. So Josh was getting ice cream, and Ty, one time we were sitting at the calf, he's like, Ty, or Josh, you gotta stop getting ice cream. You're making us look soft, getting sprinkles on the ice cream. It's like, stop getting sprinkles. You gotta look tough around here. You put sprinkles on the ice cream. So that was a common occurrence too. But all in all, Josh is an amazing, amazing person. If you guys have met him, obviously you already know. He is one of those kind of people that are just amazing at everything he does. Smart, talented. He's all-state in soccer. He won which we argued about, but he won a project in packaging for his major. Everything he touches is gold. He was always extremely dedicated while Jason would be goofing off and doing Tetris, and I was trying to just make it in med school. Josh would be applying for scholarships and basically going to college for free. He was definitely the smartest. He has so much passion for Michigan State. We would stand in line forever just to wait and get just a little bit closer to the arena. And he thankfully tolerated me singing the fight song all the time, Go Green. Go White! Not only that, but he's an amazing friend. Some people are good friends, and like they kind of talked about earlier, they kind of give and get a little bit. Josh is in your corner the whole time, and he really blessed Jason, Ty, and I for sure. And not just that, he would be in touch with his Grand Rapids friends from growing up, and his Minnesota friends that were in college with us, and I'm just always so impressed. The biggest thing about Josh, though, is Jesus has always been number one in his life from the start. He's always been really in touch with his faith. It's been really, really important. And we had a lot of great conversations about the depth of Jesus, and he wanted to make sure everything that he believed was always backed up by Scripture. And I was always impressed because it wouldn't just extend to our Bible study times. Sometimes we'd meet someone that he didn't agree with morally. I don't really like that person with what they're doing. I don't drive with that. He always held those morals, which as a parent is all you can ask for, I think. It was so good. So, and he was always pushing me in my faith, which I really love too. The next thing is, with this, I think if I leave you with one marriage spiritual thing, is just to strive towards oneness. They talk about oneness and one flesh in marriage, and I think a misconception is it happens immediately. And you're just like, oh, we're perfect now, we're married. But every day is just a walk towards oneness, being closer together than you were the last day, and loving each other. Rachel, I haven't had the pleasure of knowing you as long or as intimately as Josh. We haven't shared toilet seats and body wash and underwear, but this is what but what I do know is that Josh used to talk about his future wife all the time. And he was describing you to a T. And when I met you, I was like, I already know this woman. I know she's smart, she's driven, she's gorgeous, she's awesome. And I was so thrilled to meet you for the first time a couple of years ago. And tonight, you're living up to that. You look dazzling. Josh couldn't have picked a better woman to be his wife. And, from all of us roommates, we give 3 thumbs up. We really love it. So I want to leave you guys tonight with just a couple keys to happy marriage, because it's important. First and foremost, you guys have to pursue Jesus every day. That's the goal, right? It's not even more than the other things, the material things, it's Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And so if you guys keep that at the forefront of your minds, I think you guys will do just great. Second is letting Josh watch all the Michigan State basketball and football games that are on. That's the key to a happy marriage. Third is simply don't leave the baked goods on the counter table at night, because it might not be there in the morning. Not letting Josh have more than 1 or 2 snoozes in the morning is also important. Make sure he gets up. If you have any if you have any good times, make sure you call me. I want to hear about everything. Bad times, I'll give you Jason and Ty's number. For real, not for real. I'd love to hear about those too. But I want you guys to know that I take it very seriously being a groomsman, and I love you guys. I'm in your corner through thick and thin. Like, I'm going to battle and make sure this marriage works. And I am so, so happy, so blessed by God to be here. It's clearly a blessed wedding. So with that, let's cheers to Jason and Rachel.
Guys, I have 0 chance of getting through this, but I'm going to get as many words in as I can before I've got to pass the mic off. Words cannot explain the amount of support that we're feeling from all of you today. I've never experienced, other than my sister's wedding, I guess, this many loved ones in one spot. Just can't tell you how much that means to us as we begin our marriage together. We've had a lot of thank yous already, but what we see here tonight would not be possible without the help of a lot of wonderfully talented people, the least of which is my beautiful bride, Rachael. If you were to ask me to plan a wedding, I'd plan probably like an 80% good wedding. Like, oh, but there's the fine details. And Rachel's like, nope, this will be valuable, this will be valuable. And you see the result of that here tonight. And I think this is a night that hopefully none of us will forget. We hope that we are able to share a little of our love for the state of Colorado with you guys for this weekend, and we just hope you enjoy the rest of the night. Other thank yous for our parents, both for raising us and also helping make this what it is tonight. You think you know a helper, you think you've been helped by someone until you work with Terry. You can see where Rachael gets it, the fine details that actually put it over the top. Thank you so much for all you guys have done for this. Thank you all of our wonderful vendors. Can't wait to get this DJ going.
I love everyone's singing their energy up today.
Yeah, we feel very loved and supported by all of you. We can't tell you how much it means that you made the trip out here to support us. And let's have a great night tonight.